Hey, great people. Thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I'm Victor Akunna.
Hey, if you're new to our channel, Foundation for Family Affairs, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it so you're notified when we drop our content. And thank you to all our returning subscribers. Today we have come your way with something really interesting. Why some ladies hang on to dead-end relationships. Why some ladies hang on to dead-end relationships. And as we were thinking about this topic, we just thought some people might not even realize they are in dead-end relationships.
Exactly.
So they would be asking, what are the signs, okay, that I am in one of such relationships? You know, but I thought I would put a disclaimer. This, it's not about you just jumping out of the relationship you're in, maybe because you don't feel happy at the moment or you feel bored. Okay, one or two things at stake. Okay, so you need to do a proper assessment of that relationship and then look out for the signs.
Absolutely.
You want to say so?
Yeah, what I wanted to say is that what we are going to be sharing is a general concept. Yes. So you have to now look at the peculiarity of your own relationship. That's what she's trying to say. Yes. All right. So it's not that, oh, they said, if this happens, that means I'm in a dead-end relationship. No, you have to look at the peculiarity. You have to study the person's pattern. So is it a one-off event you are using to assess, or is it a or is there consistency in the person's behavior? If it's a behavior that is consistent, then you should look at it again. But if it's something that happens once in a while, disconnected events, no, have another look.
Okay, so what are the signs? One sign we thought we put out there would be the lack of communication. Yes, you are in a relationship with someone and you should be talking. We always say there's so much to talk about.
Yes.
Okay, and if you really take time to talk, you would be addressing some fundamental issues. I don't like to hear when people, I don't like it when I hear people say the first 2 years of our relationship were very rough. You know, there are things you can do to minimize. You will definitely still discover yourselves. You keep discovering yourselves.
Absolutely.
But you can minimize the shock, you know, when you get in. So the lack of communication is one sign. If you're in a relationship with someone, there should be some excitement to talk with this person.
Absolutely.
You know, it's never enough.
Yeah.
I remember when we were in a relationship and sometimes we would be on Skype sometimes.
Skype. Yes.
Yeah. And then we would talk and sometimes I'll sleep off. Because I would have had a long day. And then you'd say, okay, there she goes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wouldn't want to wake me up.
Yes.
And then I'll wake up later and realize, oh, I was actually talking.
Yeah.
But you just enjoy speaking with this person.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Just to point out, sometimes because we're in a different time zones, so our time zones wasn't really working for us as much as we would have wanted. So another key thing is, question that came to my mind while you were talking is, if someone asks you, a single person, I mean, I'm not a talking type, what should we be talking about? What would you say?
Oh, there's so much to talk about. You're coming together to form a life.
Fantastic.
Okay, you're syncing your lives together.
Yes.
So what would we be doing when we're together? You can't say there's nothing to talk about, but it's a good observation.
Good point.
Because there are people who really are not talkers. Then the person who is a talker should initiate the conversation. Okay, and then if you're still in doubt, maybe you need to enroll for our intimacy builder program.
Yes.
It's a program we have for singles, yes, and it helps them. Singles, and we have one for engaged couples, another for married couples. And when they come on this program, they realize that there's so much. We'll give you a list of things to talk about.
Yes. We'll be sharing a picture soon of one of the person, someone that went through our program as a single and then did the intimacy builder program for engaged couples, and now she's married. We'll be sharing that later. It's a good point to mention in terms of, what will we be doing together. So another key area where couples need to look at is money. The topic of money sometimes creates a lot of negative emotions. So you want to talk about how are we going to work around money? Who is the spender in the relationship? Who is the saver? What plan are we going to have in terms of gathering money? Are we going to create portfolios that will be generating income for us? Are we going to be vulnerable and open about our income? Because some people don't mind. They say, you know what, your money is your money, my money is my money. We're just going to do and contribute to a pause. Discuss whatever works for you. But at the end of the day, it's not what your spouse wants or what you want. It's what is good for your marriage. You have to have that mindset that whatever is going to will be good for your marriage It might be painful now, but on the long haul, it will be the best. That is what is going to keep you together. Because if I come into a relationship and I'm only thinking about me, you know where that relationship is going to end up eventually. Because relationship by design does not function with selfishness. Love and selfishness cannot work together. All right, so you can't be professing love and you're thinking about you. The nature of love is to think about the other. So that principle needs to guide your finances, guide your parenting, guide your decision making. You can't just get a job and take off, not thinking, how will this impact my family? We're not saying you should lose your happiness. We are saying, think about your family. How? Because if everyone is making decisions that way, the family will disintegrate. That's it. So that's one key thing. Talk about money, saving. Talk about issues like, do we want people to live with us? And if people come to live with us, how long? Some people don't mind it. Some people care. Some people, their philosophy is me and my spouse alone. Some people, me, myself, and the community. So already you can see that nothing is wrong. People have their own preferences. They have their reasons. You have to just agree, this is what we want to do. So those are kind of conversations you want to be talking about. How many children are we going to have? What kind of school would they go to? How would discipline? Are you a shouter? How did they discipline you when you were growing up? Which one did you think worked? What do you plan to apply? These are kind of some of the questions you need to be asking yourself, so that the reason for doing this is to know who you are going into a relationship with. It's called life partnership. If someone is a partner, the person requires what is called absolute transparency, utmost good faith. You can't enter an agreement with someone without knowing their intentions, without placing the cards on the table, like they say. Very, very important. Yeah.
Okay, so another sign that you're in a dead-end relationship is when the actions of this person, actions or inactions, affect your confidence. You're in a relationship with someone. Sometimes the way they talk to you makes you feel small.
Yes.
The way they address you, you find that belittling.
Yes.
All their inactions, they just don't care about you.
Yes.
You fix an appointment and the person just thinks it's okay not to turn up. Or a lot of things.
Yes.
But in saying that too, you need to be careful. Okay, look at your relationship in context. All right, and then make that assessment rather.
Look at your relationship in context. I like that. Yeah. So if the person constantly does things that take away your that impact your negatively impact your self-esteem, not positively, negatively impact yourself. So you come to that point, you begin to doubt yourself. Maybe you enter that relationship being a go-getter, you are this kind of person, you know what, you just achieve results. Now you're doubting yourself. Can I do this? Can I do this? That's not a very good sign. Not a very good sign at all. The person you are in a relationship with is not responsible for your happiness, but the person should not take away from the happiness you already have. All right. So you are responsible for your own happiness, but the person should not be doing things that will be costing you off. You know how long it takes for someone to be whole? You know the effort it takes to be healthy emotionally? So you don't want people that will come and take away from what you already have. If they are bringing, it should be to improve, to add to what you already have. So very, very important. Yeah. So another way people do that is in public, they do things that undermine the person in the midst of their friends. So maybe like a lady is talking and then her guy just walks up, no, why did you choose this shirt? I've told you not to be wearing this shirt. Those kind of attitude, that kind of attitude is
also expensive jokes.
Very expensive jokes. Or the person comes into your family, and maybe the lady comes to visit him with his family, and then you're like, babe, you don't do that, because the family members, they will take a cue from how you treat him or her. Very, very critical.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so the next point would be a clash of values. This is a big one. Okay, because naturally they would say opposite attract, okay, in terms of personalities. But when it comes to values, there should be commonalities. Okay, I should not be in a relationship with someone I know does not we don't have the same values. You will definitely have problems. If you're not having problems now already, you will have some problems in marriage. Definitely. Okay, so what are values? A very simple one I like to use is value of integrity. And you know that this person is into some things you quite don't understand. You know, what the person says to you does not often add up, and you're often in doubt. You're wondering, what does he do? That's even, you know, you had a lot of questions in mind. That's already a clash of values. So if this person won't be straightforward, then why do I need this panic to continue for how many years? You know, so these are things you need to be asking yourself.
Values are so fundamental to our being, to our identity, to our character, you know, as individual, as you know. So she mentioned integrity. Some other values may be tidiness. All right, some people have a value for tidiness. They want a place to look really, really tidy. So if you have someone who is very disorganized, it might be an issue. I know someone, for example, that is so organized that if you move anything, it can affect how she sees life. Not how she sees life, how she works can disorient her. All right, so there are other values of resilience. Ooh, resilience is such a it's a very important value. You know, people who don't have it, they give up on dreams easily. So you see someone, oh, you talk to them. Someone may have a partner that, you know, oh, today they're working on this project. If there's any little roadblock, oh, they've jumped on another project. They jump up. So 10 years has gone. They've not held any job for more than 1 year. It's always an issue of they don't like me at that place. There's no resilience. You know, there are challenges everywhere. You just have to know how to pick your battles, know how to bulldoze through the challenges, and become a better version of yourself. That's it.
So look out for those values. Okay. So another point, another sign you need to look out for is when there's no trust. You've done your best to try, you know, to get this person to believe you're what he thinks, but it's just not working. The person is very suspicious of you, every move you make.
Yes.
You know, you don't want to live life like that. You will soon find yourself minimizing because you're trying to fit into a script. No, it shouldn't be that way. There should be trust in the relationship. Okay, so if of course this would be if you have done something, okay, that has impacted trust,
that's a different story.
Reached trust in your relationship, that's a different story. So you would need to step up and be accountable. All right. In fact, I like what you would often say. You shouldn't wait for that person to make some demands of you. You should want to show this person that I am that person you can trust right now.
So if you've done something that eroded trust, the onus is on you to be trustworthy by doing things that will create that level of trust. So you go somewhere, oh babe, this is where I am. Oh guy, this is where I am. This is what I am. This is what you have to do that because it takes time to rebuild broken trust. Some people don't ever recover because some people don't recover from that because they don't want to be fools again. So they are guarded. So, and you can't blame them. So let's just try as much as possible not to create an atmosphere that's negatively damaged the trust you've built with someone who is special.
So another point we have for you is when there are no common goals. No common goals. This one is a big one because in another way, if we want to put it in another way, we say no common vision.
Yes.
Right? Where are you going? Where's this relationship headed? What's this person's plan for his life? What's your plan for your life?
Yes.
Then do we at some point have some common goals?
Yes.
You know, so when we look at it, we're like, okay, we have some interest. I'm trying not to use the word interest because that could be confusing. Because someone will be asking, does it mean, I mean, we don't have, there are areas where we have varying interests.
Of course.
Okay. But we have common goals.
Yes. So goals are so important because it charts the future. Remember, you're with this person because you want to build a future together. So if there are no clear goals, you just have a situation where you are just in a relationship that is endless. That's why you see some people, they are in a relationship 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. Nothing's clear. Nothing is definite. When are we going to put the ring on it? I don't know. It depends. Yeah, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this. And they give you excuses that are hinged on something that they don't have control over. So it's like telling me that, oh, are you going to come for work today? No, I don't know. It depends on the weather. I don't have control over the weather. Whether the weather is bad or not, I have to be at work. It doesn't matter what the weather is saying. I don't have control. But what I have control of is getting out there. All right. So you have to be able to have a common goal, have goals as, you know. Another thing is that some people form a relationship and there are no like I said, there are no specific, there are no clear milestones. We need to do X, Y, Z at this time. Okay, you have to get your master's, you get your PhD, then we'll do X, Y, Z. We're just going, let's just see how it goes kind of situation. No, 1,000 times no. So you have to create that kind of atmosphere where you have definite things. So you know whether you're making progress. You have to have certain markers. If you don't have that, people just live life. That's why we have days. So you know that it's not one long day. You have night and day. So you can plan your life and apply your life to wisdom. That's it.
Awesome. So the last point we have for you for the signs is no interest. This person has no interest in you. You will be doing yourself a lot of disservice to be in this kind of relationship. Maybe the person is there for ulterior motives, okay, maybe financial reasons, but this person is not interested in you as a person. Might be interested in the things around you, what you have, but not interested in you. Red flag.
Red flag. If someone is not interested in what is important to you, what makes you happy, that's not a good sign. If someone is not interested in your well-being, you've not called the person for a day and they just assume you're okay and they're just carrying on with their lives and they're not asking what's happening. That's not good. If the person not interested in supporting your dreams, that's not good. All right, the woman you are with is not concerned about whether you're making progress in your career. She's just thinking about when is the next thing you're going to give to me. That's not good. If a guy is just in you, or you're just thinking about what he's going to get or because of the family you come from, and you're not interested about your well-being, that's not good as well.
Yes. Okay, so we've touched on some very valid points. Lack of communication, lack of trust, clash of values, lack of common goals, lack of interest in you, and then the actions or inactions impact your confidence. You need to think very carefully about this. You will be spending a lot of time, hopefully that's the intention, isn't it, that you get into a marriage and you spend the rest of your lives together. So you people don't just go in wanting to jump out. These days we're seeing a lot of people jump out, okay, but there are reasons for that. So you want to go in there and have a good time, fulfill purpose, do life together, rock the world, and impact the kingdom as well. So let's go on and do life. Assess your relationships. We're hoping that a lot of good will come out from this after watching this. If you have other comments you think, every other point you think, it would have been great to talk about this, you may want to share with us in the comment section. We'll be happy to hear from you. In the next video, we'll be telling you why that lady is still in that relationship, even though she knows it's going nowhere. We'll see you on the other side.